sound of my whistle, while she gripping on my pistol. She gon' go on the sound of my whistle, while she gripping on my pistol.
Okay, that was my sneeze. All right, I know. So great. So today we are doing the FSA review problems 1 through 10. I know we are not having FSA this year, but these are just review problems from what we've covered the entire year. It covers all of the standards we've covered. So we're going to go ahead and continue on with them. Again, follow along just like we normally would with any video. You should have already up to this point completed your own problems from the PowerPoint. You should have just done them on a sheet of paper. You can picture text me the answers, or you can submit them on the computer on Teams, or you can message them in a chat with me on Teams. Any way that you can submit the problems. Now, if you got one of the questions wrong, this video is supposed to help with that. You are going to write down the correct answer and how to get the correct answer. Aside from that, you're just going to be watching this video to make sure that you understand how to do all of the problems, okay? If you need to pause this video to write things down, feel free to do so. Okay, so this one is simply a subtraction problem. The biggest part about this one is we need to make sure that we line up our decimals so that we line up our place values. So we have 23 and 600ths and 4 and 7/10ths. Again, if we line up our decimals, then we will line up our place values. You see that we do not have anything here in the hundredths place on the bottom, so we're just going to put a 0 there, and then we start subtracting. 6 minus 0 is simply 6. We cannot take 7 from 0, so we will have to borrow. This becomes a 2. The 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 gives us 3. Bring down our decimal. We cannot take 4 from 2, so we will have to borrow. 12 minus 4 gives us 8, and then 1 minus 0 gives us 1. So our answer is 18 and 36/100ths. You do not have to write it in here. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oops, one moment. There we go. Okay, now we can read the problem. It says Lauren is on the deck of a ship. And really, problems like this, any word problems, I like to draw pictures to help me out. So, she's on the deck of a ship. Here's my ship. Here's Lauren. Obviously, I'm a great artist, you know. So, there's Lauren. She is at 46 feet above the water. So, here's the water down here. And she's 46 feet above the water. Mario is scuba diving. So here's Mario, and here's his fins. Okay, Mario's swimming. Hi. He is scuba diving. I guess he needs some things on his back. That's the gas that you use when you're scuba diving. Whatever. Okay, he is scuba diving 36 feet below. So negative 36 feet, because it is 36 feet below the water surface. And it wants to know the distance between Lauren and Mario. Well, we don't subtract these two, even though it says what's the distance between. What we want to do is we want to go from 46 feet to 0, that's 46, and then from 0 to negative 36 is 36. And what we want to do is put those two together. That's how we find the distance between these two. So we are really adding them together. Essentially, we're still subtracting, but because this is a negative, and we'll get to this in 7th grade, what we're doing here is 46 minus a negative 36 to find the difference between these two numbers. But really, when you subtract a negative, it's the same thing as adding them together. So 6 plus 6 gives us 12. We put our 2 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So there is 82 feet between Lauren and Mario. Okay, it says the expression m to the third power is equal to which of the following? Remember, when we have a number that is cubed, it means that number times itself 3 times. So really, m to the third power is the same thing as m times m times m. I know you see 3 m's here, but we are multiplying m times itself 3 times. That is not the same as 3 times m. And if this is confusing for you, it's easier if we put a number in for m. So let's say this is 2 to the third power, okay? 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 is not the same as 2 times 3. Okay, so 2 times 3 would give us 6, right? So these are not equal because 2 to the third power is not 2 times 3. It is 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so our correct answer here will be B. Okay, moving on to number 4. Okay, it says, what is the value of the expression 1256 divided by 157? This is simply a division problem. So we are going to divide. We cannot put 157 will not go into 1. It will not go into 12, and it will not go into 125. It will go into 1256. This is not one of those that you should know off the top of your head, okay? I certainly don't know this off the top of my head. So what we need to do is we need to multiply off to the side to see what number it is closest to. So 157 times 10 I know is 1,570, right? But this is less than that, so our answer is going to be less than 10. So I would go with maybe 7. Okay, so 7 times 7 gives me 49. 7 times 5 would be 35, plus 4 gives me 39. And then 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So that's 1,099. This is bigger than that, and 157 can go into this more than just 7 times. So let's try 157 times 8. 7 times 8 gives us 56. 8 times 5 gives us 40, plus 5 is 45, and 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12. So 1256 is our answer. So we can, 1256 divided by 157 is 8. 8 times 157 is 1256, and when we subtract, we should get 0. So our answer in the end, oops, I did not mean to press that. I hate this button because it is so hard to get it back. Yay! Sorry. Okay, so 8 is our answer, our final answer for this problem. Okay, let's move on to number 5. Okay, it says a polygon has points located at the following coordinates. Draw the polygon on the graph below. So, I know some of you don't have graph paper. If you just want to sketch out a coordinate plane for this one, and then put the dots where they would approximately go, that'll probably be for the best. Okay, so we go over 4 and up 4. That's our first point, is at 4, 4. Over 4 to the right, positive 4, and up to positive 4. And then this one is negative 3, positive 4. So we are going to go to the left to negative 3, and then still up to positive 4, and put a dot. This is negative 3, negative 2. So over to negative 3, down to negative 2. Put a dot, and this last one is 6, negative 2. So over to positive 6, down to negative 2. And then I'm going to connect my dots to see what shape this is. It looks like a rectangle, but this one dot is out just a little bit further. So this actually forms what is called a trapezoid. And we did already do some geometry this year, so you guys should remember this. Trapezoids can either look like this, okay, or they can look like this. You can have one backwards too. Okay, so these are all trapezoids. What a trapezoid is it has one set of parallel sides. Parallel means they will never touch. So this side is parallel to this side is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side. The other sides, these are not parallel because if we kept these sides going, eventually they would touch. that means it is not parallel. Okay, so they only have one set of parallel lines. That is what makes them a trapezoid. Okay, Beth bought 8 hamburgers for $60. Each hamburger costs the same amount. What is the value of one hamburger? So, $60 for 8 hamburgers. We want to know how much for one hamburger. I'm going to abbreviate. Ham. Y'all know that stands for hamburger, okay? So, essentially what you're doing here is you're just dividing the top by the bottom. We go a little bit more in depth in the math world because it prepares you for 7th and 8th grade math when we get into algebra. So, how I would go about solving this, it is just a simple division problem, but how I would start by solving this is 60 times 1 and 8 times x. We have done this before this year, so you guys should remember this. It's been a while since we worked on problems like these, though. 60 times 1 is simply 60, and 8 times x is 8x. Right now, our variable x is being multiplied times 8. So in order to solve for x, we have to do the opposite. The opposite of multiplying by 8 is dividing by 8. So now we have 8 divided by 8, which is 1, and all we're left with is x, and 60 divided by 8 will give us our answer. Yes, that is all you had to do from the beginning, but I am showing you the way that we solve equations. It'll give you guys more practice before next year. So 60 divided by 8, it cannot go into 6, but it can go into 67 times. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract and we get 4. Put a decimal and annex a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract and we get 0. Now, 7.5 is an okay answer. The problem is we are talking about money here. We're talking about how much for the cost for just one hamburger patty. And because we're talking about money, we need it to go out to the hundredths place. If it does not go out to the 100ths place, it is not money. Okay? You don't tell anybody that you've got $7.5 in your pocket, right? You tell them you've got $7.50. So, in order to make that, we just need to annex a 0 on the end of our number. That'll take it out to the 100ths place, and then we're done. Our answer is $7.50 for one hamburger patty. Okay? I guess maybe I should circle my answer down here because I've got a little bit of a sloppy mess going on now. The only reason why my work is a bit sloppy, and I'm going to blame it on this, is because I am writing on this and not a sheet of paper. So, my apologies. Okay? Okay, so Teresa's math test grades are listed below. Create a dot plot using the test grades. So all a dot plot means is you're going to see a number and then you're going to put a dot above that number. I don't see any numbers down here, so we are going to have to create our own number line. So what I'm going to do to start our number line, number one, it has to be equal intervals, okay, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But I'm going to start with my smallest number. My smallest number up here seems to be 60, so I'm going to start with 60. And then these all look like they're counting by fives, but even if they weren't, you could count by fives. If they're not that spread out, you may want to count by ones or even by twos or threes. If they're really spread out, you may want to count by tens, by 50s, by 100s even. Okay, so but right now, they're kind of spaced out, but not too bad. So we're going to count by fives. So 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, 110. Okay, so what I said earlier about counting in correct intervals, in consistent intervals, right, is these are all fives. Okay, in between each one of these is a 5, right? Because we are counting by fives. You don't want to do 5 here and then put maybe 72 here, so you're counting by 7 in that one, and then 8 in this one. Do you know what I mean? You need to be counting by the same thing each time, okay? The same interval all the way down. Okay, so once you've got yours all listed, you're going to see a number. Up here is 95. You're going to cross it out, and you're going to go put a dot above 95. And you see 100. We're going to put a dot above 100. 75. we're going to put a dot above 75. This is it. This is all we're doing. Put a dot above 80. Put another dot above 95. Put a dot above 70. 85. Another 100. Another 60. Not another 60. 160. 80. Another 95. 75. Forgot to cross it out. 90. Another 95. And a 90. Okay, now, that's all we had to do for this problem, but let me explain. Once you have created a dot plot, then it will, sometimes they'll give you questions to answer about that dot plot. For example, what is the highest or the most used number of test grades that she had? Something like that. The most number of test grades is 95, right? Or it'll say, what is the mode of her test grades? The mode is the number used most often, so which is 95. It may ask the range of numbers, right? So you would take the highest number, which is 100, and subtract the smallest number, which is 60. So the range of her data is 40, because 100 minus 60 is 40. So all that to say that once you have made a dot plot, typically you will see questions about that dot plot. So be sure that you know how to answer those as well. Okay, so it says select the values of x that make each equation true. So what you could do is solve each one of these for x. Remember that we work backwards to solve. Draw the line down from your equal sign. We're going to start on the side with the variable, but start with the number without the variable, okay? So we are going to subtract here 2 from both sides. We are left with 4x equals 6 minus 2, which is 4. We're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 1 times x is x. And over here, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So for this first problem, x is equal to 1. Now, what you could have done if you do not want to solve a two-step equation, which actually is more 7th grade work, what you could have done is input x, 0 in for x and see if it worked out. For example, 4 times 0 plus 2, does that give me 6? Let's try. 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. That is not 6. So this would not have been your answer. Okay? You could try it with the next one. 4 times 1 plus 2 equals 6. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. That does work out. So that is why our answer here is x equals 1. Okay? Just to show you guys all the way across, 4 times 2 plus 2, does that give me 6? Let's see. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. That does not equal 6. So our answer here is not correct. Okay? Our answer is correct. Our answer choice C is not correct. Okay, so we are not done with this problem. Sorry, I wrote too much on this page. So our answer for the first line is B. Now we need to go through for the second one. I'm going to solve the two-step equation because I do think that's the easiest way to do this, but that's just a personal preference. We're going to start on the side with the variable, but we're going to start with the number without the variable first. Right now this is adding 2. Again, we have to do the opposite to solve, so we are going to subtract 2. This cancels, and we are left with 4x equals 2 minus 2, which is 0. We're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 1 times x is x, and 0 divided by 4 is 0. Okay, so x is equal to 0. So D is going to be our answer choice for this next one. And then I'm going to do the last one down here. 4x plus 1 equals 9. Draw the line down from your equal sign. Start on the side with the variable, but start with a number without. So we're going to subtract 1, because remember we have to do the opposite to both sides. Okay, so this cancels. 1 minus 1 is 0, right? And we are left with 4x on the left, and 9 minus 1 is 8 on the right. Again, right now x is being multiplied times 4. To solve a multiplication equation, we want to do the opposite, which is divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 1 times x is x, and 8 divided by 4 gives us 2. So our answer for this last one is x equals 2. Okay, so you should have B circled in for the top row, You should have D circled in for the next row down, and the last row should be I. Okay, we only have one more problem. I know I said problems 1 through 10, but I totally forgot to put a number 10 for this PowerPoint. So, lucky you guys, you only had to do 9 problems this first week. Okay, oops. So, it says simplify the expression 5 times 2x plus 4. You are using the distributive property here. Remember, the distributive property means you multiply the number on the outside of the parentheses by both having a brain fart. What? Both expressions on the inside? I don't even know. I'm sorry. 5 times 2x is 10x, and 5 times 4 is 20. And then remember to bring down your plus sign. So our answer here is 10x plus 20. And that's it. That's all you guys had for today. I miss you guys a lot. I hope that we will get back to school soon so I can see you all. Until then, we will have to do it this way. You guys already know how to do the videos. I have complete faith that you'll do fine with all of this. If you ever get upset or angry or frustrated and you need help with something, feel free to email me. You can text me at that number on my page, or you can video chat me or chat me in Teams if you've got any questions, need any help with anything. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later.